Hi, I'm Margie Abbott, and I'm here with Dr. Dale, who's written a really great, unique math curriculum to help students accomplish more math than they might necessarily think they could have. But a lot of our students, Dr. Dale, are coming out of curriculums that are very standard, that are just a typical way that math has been taught in the past. And your curriculum, I know, is tiered very differently. So can it help those students, or how could it help those students that are already in that system of math?
Well, you know, that's a great question, Margie. In fact, I get it fairly often from family and friends, usually, where the kids are going to a public school and they're in what I call a standard math curriculum, like, say, an algebra class or geometry class. And I go, well, my student's really struggling with this. Will your program help them in that class? And unfortunately, the answer is probably not, because I teach the content in a very different sequence way. And so, chances are my program isn't going to help them when they're embedded in one of those kind of classes. Also, those standard math curriculum classes a lot of times have material in it that is obsolete, that they really don't need to know, or premature, where they shouldn't be learning it yet. So it doesn't really help them. I recommend, if you're embedded in a standard math curriculum and you need help on a specific topic, I recommend go to Khan Academy. Because Sal Khan has got a lot of wonderful videos on a lot of math topics. I think there's a couple thousand math videos there. So try to find the one that's on the topic that you're interested in, and it'll be a good video. Now, you'll need to go ahead and add exercises and tests and all that probably, but at least you'll get an explanation of it. I must say, though, I don't believe that if you can possibly do it, subject your child to the standard math curriculum. And homeschool teachers, fortunately, don't have to. Now, to fully understand all that, I wrote a book 5 years ago, actually, called Teaching Math. And in this, I explain why the current high school math curriculum that most all states have to do because of the Common Core standards, why it's not working, why it's failing our students. And then, of course, I tell what can be done about it. I wrote this book 5 years ago. We'd started our program then. We had the first 2 tiers done then. Now we're up through tier 6.
Wow.
This is 5 years later. It's been a work in progress these years. And you can get a free copy of this on our website in a PDF format and print it out. And then you can read it. So if you really want to understand what's wrong with the standard math curriculum, and by the way, it's not just our students that are victims, the teachers are victims too. Because they're given the textbooks, big thick textbooks that are loaded with inappropriate material, frankly. They're given standardized tests. They're given a syllabus, they're given a time schedule. No wonder they have trouble with the classes. I mean, and then the poor students are victims of it, and what are they going to do? As you know, in this program, from other videos that we've talked about on it, it's all self-paced and so on. When a student finishes our program, they'll actually have a better math education than the standard math curriculum. It's a better one.
Okay.
And so that part's good. So if they've gone through the whole program, then, of course, if they had to go back and go through the standard math curriculum, it'd be easier for them.
Well, review it as why you feel like they would have a better education after they finished what you've got out for them. What is that?
Well, because they're getting the topics they need. They're not getting a bunch of irrelevant, obsolete topics or a bunch of premature theoretical topics. I mean, for example, there are 9th grade algebra books today that teach you all about irrational numbers. Well, that's not something you need to know about as a beginning math student. That's a theoretical concept that only theoretical mathematicians care about. Even scientists and engineers don't deal with irrational numbers. It's a theoretical concept. I like the concept. I have a theoretical math background. I enjoy it. But I don't believe in teaching students something that isn't relevant to them. And that's just one little example. We could go through, if you want to take a 600 or 700 page algebra book, I can go through it with you, and I can point out a lot of stuff in it that's either obsolete or premature.
So do you think that's one of the things that maybe frustrates some of our math students that they're getting started, is having all these things that they don't find practical?
Oh, absolutely. And not only does it frustrate the student, it frustrates the teachers. The poor teachers are given a curriculum to go through and a schedule to do it, and they know that they can't communicate it to many of their students. The students can't keep up with it, or they're not interested in it, and so they're really a victim of it too. I feel very sorry for the high school teachers in our public schools today. Homeschool teachers are free from that.
Yeah.
All you've got to do, what you can do is teach your child the relevant math in the right sequence Now, if your child wants to go to MIT and become a physicist, they'll go all the way through tier 6, calculus, differential equations. But if your child wants to go to the military or go into an apprentice program, they only need to go through the first 2 tiers. They don't need calculus.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome.